So, do you own a cardigan? Do you own one?
Say that again?
Do you own a cardigan?
I do not.
Okay. Are you a cardigan guy? Guess not, if you don't own one.
No, I mean, I don't have one, so no.
I only own one. You're looking at it. This is it.
That's the one you own. I mean, it looks good, dude. I'll give it to you. It looks good.
Old Navy. That's what it is right
Really?
there. Yeah, rocking the Old Navy. Yeah.
Is this a recent purchase?
This is not. I've had this for a while. In Florida, you have 2 months, basically.
Yeah.
I could, depending on what time, the cold front that flows through, it could be 3, right? December's always known for a little bit warmer, but like this year we've hit some 40s, right? With the cold front coming in. So it could be 3 months, but anyway, this only breaks out like twice.
Yeah. It's a good look though. Yeah, it's a good look. And you just do a simple t-shirt underneath.
Yep. Just simple.
That's the play.
Dude, that's me, man. It's probably the most snazzy I can get besides like a full blown like suit or something.
Okay.
Right. I've got it a Christmas party this weekend. And mom got me a 3-piece last year.
Ooh.
Yeah. For Christmas, I got a 3-piece last year for Christmas. So I got the vest, right?
Dude, I love a vest.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I guess I didn't kind of branch out. I didn't think 3-piece was for me. Maybe it is. I don't know. It looks decent, so I'm rolling with it.
Yeah. I feel it. I'm trying, man. I also went, upgraded the wardrobe a little bit a couple weeks ago. Went and got some new pieces. Personally, what I did, I found a girl around my age. I said, listen, I'm indecisive.
Yeah.
I need you to help me make decisions. What looks good on me? Let's go. 5 minutes later, and $800 later, we're out. It was that fast. I was yep, those look good. Let's go.
You gotta have the woman's touch, man. You gotta have that.
Uh-huh.
Like you gotta have it. It goes a long way. Because you want to know what they like, right? And that's what you need. And trust me, I'm no different. Like Sarah said, I think it was not that long ago, why do I have to dress my 35-year-old fiance or 35-year-old man? It's not necessarily you're dressing me, right? It's the fact that you are going to put me in an outfit that you enjoy, right? You don't bitch at me for it. And everyone's happy, right? Like, I don't care. So I'm happy. Just pick one, just choose what you like. You're happy because I look good, right? It's a win-win. I don't care.
Dude, I could not have said that better myself. That's why I'm probably so indecisive. And it's just like, yeah, just tell me make a decision.
That's it.
And then once I put it on, I'm like, you know what? That does look good. All right, let's go.
Let's move forward.
That's all I need. I just need one person to confirm.
Anyway, Facts Loss One Truth Network, Two Joes Want to Be Pros with Ox and Meisch. We got green now for the herd, right? We won the Sun Belt Championship.
Yeah.
Rocking the green.
Baby.
We got to get out of the Bengals stuff. Bengals are kind of, their defense sucks. We don't like bad defenses here. And I figure since they know who we are now, we get like because I was always wondering, people watch us, they don't really know what we're talking about. Well, they should know what we're talking about, but maybe they don't always know. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're on NFL week 16, right? Or 15? 15. Is it 15?
It says 16.
Okay.
I wouldn't keep up. Well, there's 4 weeks left, and the final week's 18. No, it's 15. You're right.
Okay,
15,
sorry.
16,
We'll have NFL
17,
week 16 here. I'm sorry. Anyway, it's dude, there's Thursday games, there's Monday games. Monday goes into the new week. We don't even know what's going on.
Another 2 games on Monday.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Starting next week, there's going to be bowl games like basically every day. Trying to keep up with that, but not really keep up with that because it's fucking OU versus Navy. Yeah.
This weekend is always tough, man. I think it's a Christmas party every year that Sarah has. But anyway, like, there's only 1 game on. Now there's 2 with a bowl game occurring, but still, like, no one's going to watch that. I mean, I will. I'll try, but I'm not.
I was going to say, you're one of the few people I know that'll dive into these bowl games. Few people will, obviously. Yeah. But I will say, like, with the advent of college football playoff, I kind of anticipated it would go this way for me.
Yeah.
Where now that we have 12 teams in, like, I don't know if I'm going to watch very many bowl games because it's like so much of the second, and because in none of these teams, dude, the transfer portal.
It's
just it's like, who's playing for these fucking teams, dude, that aren't in the playoff?
It's absolutely insane with this portal, and I mean, there's some articles out there that you can keep up with.
Yep.
Which help, but it's not. They don't. I mean, they just know what they read, so we just know what we read from them. So it's all the same.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, it's all like it's an absolute. It's all a battle. The whole thing is an absolute battle. So I totally feel for the situation, so to speak. If we're trying to make a bet. and all that. You know what I mean? Like, I just totally feel it. So
I think it takes a lot more effort. I think bowl games you can get a better edge on, but I think the amount of effort required. Because if you go and read one article, you're right. I'm just depending on them. It's it's doing all the digging. Hey, what do their backups actually look like that are going to play? What's going to be that motivation level for them? These 3 receivers that left didn't matter, or they were all their starters, so it is going to matter. Yep. Just a lot to dig into.
I know, and we're going to dig into it. But anyway, let's get going. Where were you right? This is my worst week of the year. So you only have right bets from week 14. Pretty much to the end of the year for college football, I guess you could say. Regular season, whatever, conference championship week. So you only have 2, and you actually hit a teaser.
I hit a teaser. That's right, baby. We'll start there. Not the first teaser of the year, but probably hitting it 30%. Not good for the ROI. That was the Steelers and the Seahawks. And, of course, they both didn't even need the teasers. Should have just bet the damn spread. Of course, that's so easy to say. I'm just kidding.
Right. It's easy to say now.
It's very easy to say, but Seahawks were in control the whole game. Steelers, they really weren't. They really weren't. Just shit broke loose at the end of the game. That's it. But either way, we finally got a fucking teaser. I know you gave me a hard time when I came back with another one.
But when I gave you a hard time, you hit this one.
Yeah. So you should roast my teaser this week. And then another little dog money line. Now, I always take the points too, split the points in the money line, give the points as the best bet. But we've got 2 in a row now. Jags plus 3.5. Ugly game, didn't watch it. Don't know, but they covered, they won.
Gosh, what a tough game that was, really, in general. I don't know. It was low scoring, right? 12-9?
It was. That's what I remember too. It wasn't flying back and forth. I felt good about the 3 points most of the game. It was just can Jaguars win it? And I think the second half was kind of where they got it going a little bit, and Titans never could.
Yeah, they were trying to convince me on VSiN earlier today that Jags aren't that bad of a team. I don't know if you can sell me on that.
No.
I'm not going to jump on. Does that make sense? I don't know.
Let's think about it. They beat the Titans, who the reason I gave that out is because I was who are the Titans to be laying points? Because I think so lowly of them. The week before, they covered the spread versus the Texans, but they were down 17 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Versus a Texans team that me and you both kind of roast on because we're not high on them.
Nope, still not.
Still not. I'm not either. We'll get to that later.
Yep. Okay.
Anyway, so that's the right section. Quick.
Jeez. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Obviously, totally whipped on. The Tulane Army game was interesting. I went back and looked at that to see where I was wrong with it, how I went wrong. The stats, that classic Army game, you just don't get the ball, right? It's not like Tulane. Yep. It's not like Army. It's not like Tulane couldn't necessarily. I mean, they only had 7 points, but it's not like Tulane played atrociously. They did turn the ball over, I think, once, but Army just didn't let them have it. Right? The classic, Army and Navy and Air Force, they just don't let you have the ball because they keep the ball time of possession for so long. So, but still, that much of a drubbing was surprising. Texas, man, that was a really tough beat for me. I was going to absolutely destroy Saturday, and I had a really good day, but I only had 2 losses on the board. If you're following on action, I hit every other bet besides 2, and I doubled down. That's why I lost 2, because I doubled down on Texas winning. There was a boost on Hard Rock for Texas money line, and then I already had them 2.5 from way earlier, right? So that's kind of what the double down came through. And weird, it's they were plus 400 to win the national title going into the SEC championship game. I haven't looked today, but when they announced the playoff bracket, they dropped to 350. Or no,
what?
They were 350 going to I said it wrong. 350 going to the SEC title game. Now they're 400. Or whatever. It's weird. It flopped because they lost, and I think it got shorter to win it. It was the weirdest thing. I'm sure they're probably shorter now. They're probably at 300, 250 now, I bet. It's got to be bet down. You know what I mean?
This is where I'm going to try to invest.
A lot of the crazy teams, like Arizona State, right? Like in Indiana, that were like plus 4,000s and stuff, they got bet down. Can you believe that?
Really?
Yes.
That is. Yeah, there's
so I liked,
right there.
I think at plus 5,000, I thought Arizona State was a fair bet. I thought that's completely an attainable bet. And now they've been bet down to 4,000. Okay,
Yeah,
Longhorns are still 350. Okay, they're still hanging.
Yep, I was gonna say I still see them at 360, so it didn't change their odds.
Okay, it didn't change that much. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, what is interesting is you have 3 teams, the top 3 of the top 4 teams, odd-wise, are all in the same
side,
all in the same bucket there. Well,
okay.
Texas, Oregon, Ohio State. So Oregon would have to go through either Ohio State, Tennessee, and then Texas most likely. So they just got the way hardest draw. He's the number 1 seed.
I think Penn State has the easiest road. To me, SMU first, and then they get Boise second.
Yes, but the 5 seed was always going to have the best road.
And then obviously Georgia, maybe, right? I'm assuming they would at the end.
Yeah,
Penn State would face Georgia, pending that they get that far. I like a lot of underdog spreads here. We'll get to that later in a couple episodes from here, but I like a lot of underdog spreads, I guess, with that. Anyway, Chicago Bears money line, missed that.
Oh, God, I did too.
24 points, I think it was. 25 points, sorry. 25 points. Carlos Granderson got close. 5 hurries, 3 quarterback hits, but no sacks. If you look at, what's his name? Chase Young, also on the Saints. I didn't believe it when I saw it. 12 hurries.
Wow.
12 hurries in that game. Pretty crazy, right?
Did he have any sacks?
Nope.
That is extremely strange that
because he can't tackle.
Drew Lock was able to get out of but just the fact that Drew Lock got the football out of his hands with that many hurries. That's what I'm surprised that he wasn't taking more sacks, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, 12 hurries. I'm not seeing that this year.
No, and Chase Young's like,
He's,
you know.
His tackling grade is fucking terrible. It's awful. I mean, I guess he gets there, but he can't get him. I guess is literally what it is. You had Hopkins. I followed you, and this is why you lost.
I know. I saw you followed me, and I was like, man, that
lost
sucks. That one. Like, of course, the one he follows the loser. Like, gosh. And at halftime, I think I texted you. I had 29, 30 yards at half.
That's right. Yep.
The number was 42 and a half, so I was like, sweet, dude. Like, we're going to get there in the third quarter. Like, hell yeah. Hope I get to 50 yards. It won't be like a couch cover, but we're going to get there.
Yep.
0 catches in the second half.
Crazy.
0. So, but that game flipped in the second half. Chiefs just did Chiefs shit. Chiefs just said, we don't really want to fucking like win by margin, so we're just going to sit the fuck back for about 25 minutes and then just take the final drive and win.
That's just nuts. Yeah, and then you had
Anyways,
Vikings, right?
The under, which you hated, and it had a shot until the fourth quarter, and then it just went crazy. It went bonkers.
Always. Fourth, man.
42-21 finals. The fourth. We talk about it.
Yep.
A lot of big plays in that game. That's what killed that. Because as I was watching, it was like Vikings just had a couple bombs that Sam Darnold threw up. Falcons had like a 20-yard run that Bijan just blew up, to score. And it's like, yep, this is how unders like absolutely lose. Big plays. If you want to lose an under, it's big plays. You need long drives and field goals. And we weren't getting field goals in that game. So, yep, that was a wrong read there.
Yep. And update on the graphic. I updated my nope, sorry. We'll do, where's the graphic? There she is.
There we are.
All right. Yep. We're kind of evened out a little bit now. We're back to the 500 realm. You were there. I'm way back now with an 0-4 day. I came out in the black last weekend due to the great college football Saturday, but my best bets did not. So sorry about that. Texas flopped, obviously. Anyway, we're kind of back to kind of equilibrium, so to speak, but I like to be better than that. So 27-25 for you, 29-28 for me. I think that's we can get a bit better than that. We're getting into the meat and potatoes of the NFL season now, as in the pretenders are probably they're fake now, they're done, and the good teams are good. And then I don't know, we may have 1 or 2 frauds still, but not really. Like like a Texans maybe still hanging out there. I don't know what you think about the Buccaneers maybe still hanging out there as a fraud, maybe because they're injured again. Bucky Irving I think's banged up. Anyway.
Yeah. I do like the end of the year. We both had rough patches that killed our record. Pretty much all year, we both had pretty good records, and then we both went through a rough patch that was like, whoop, well, we're equalized. Okay.
Yep.
So, yeah, there's a lot of game left, as I like to say.
Yep. Flash to action URL codes if you guys want to follow the bets there. There we go. We got them on the screen. Scan on the QR code for me and Alex if you're watching the video portion, if you guys are interested. But we got to get right into the games. Because we got a lot of good juicy things. Similar, we kind of doing the same thing as we did, I guess you could say, last week. We are doing, you get one prop, you get one total, one underdog money line specifically. I figure we'll do the totals first because that's how I have it ordered here.
Okay.
I don't know if I cheated. You could tell me if I've cheated, but I really liked it, so I guess you can call it cheating. My first total, love the bet. Best bet, by the way. Chiefs at Browns. Chiefs at Browns. Yes, we'll add the Chiefs into our, right? We kind of cycle through, the AFC North, whatnot. We got a lot of Ravens, we got a lot of Bengals, but then we always kind of hit the Chiefs, right? We cycle through those three teams. I'm the culprit of this time. It's my fault. Yeah, it's definitely my fault. Chiefs at Browns. I initially caught the total in this game because of the weather. That's kind of what struck me there is right now it's 40 degrees with over 15-mile-an-hour winds, so 16 plus is what I read. Right, and it's been hovering around. I've seen it get to 17, but who cares? It's over 15 is kind of my point there. We know how the weather factors in when you get to 15 or more. Obviously a lot when 20 or more. So I like the under there for that. But here's the thing. Chiefs kind of have some weaknesses, right, when it comes to the Browns and what they can do. Kind of. Right, because the Browns, they're all in on the pass, mainly because Chubb's kind of gone away. Ford got a lot of carries last week, by the way, I saw, which was kind of cool. So they're going to kind of integrate him a little bit more, it seems like. Anyway, Chiefs are 14th in pass coverage, so they're kind of middle of the league, maybe a little better, right, being 14th. And the Browns pass it almost 70% of the time. It's a lot. But with the high winds, has me wondering, what do they do? Now, I had the attempts for Winston in that snow game, and it looked like a dead bet. But with the Steelers taking the lead in the fourth, they kept throwing it, weirdly enough. So it's going to be interesting. Do they just stay with that and the wind?
Because of the high wind, yes.
Be curious to see
surprised
how that goes. But here's the thing. They're very kind of similar, and this is kind of going to lead into my money line, but I don't want to give it away too much, but I guess it's kind of a package deal. If you really look at these two teams, they're super similar. 4th ranked defense, Chiefs. 5th ranked defense, Browns. 15th ranked offense, Chiefs. 18th ranked offense, Browns. 20th strength of schedule played, Chiefs. 13th strength of schedule played, Browns. A lot of similarities there. I just kind of see a close game. Spread is 4, I believe. I'm looking at it right now. 4 still. Still 4. I see a close game. I see this being a last possession game in some way. My kicker is, I guess I'm now making my case for the money line. I'm sorry. I'm skipping ahead here. We got places we got to be.
I knew where you were going. That's why you were cheating, right?
I'm sorry.
Doing the thing. Not cheating. I considered it.
Chiefs have 10 takeaways on the year. That's 3rd fewest in the NFL. And guess who loves to throw the ball the other team?
Oh, we already know, baby.
That's right.
The
Winston.
The Jameis.
I just think the NFL's weird. You know how crazy it gets, man, especially when you're not really expecting it. This is a game that I don't think you're expecting the Browns to have a shot, but they always have fight, right? It's not like the Bears last week where they had 0 fight on a rough 49ers team. I just see with the wind and the weather, I see it keeping it low scoring. When it's low scoring, you like numbers. I love the +4, but that's not what we're doing here. So I guess I'll cheat and also tell you my money line bet is going to be the Browns. I haven't bet it yet. I'm kind of waiting for a number. Do you think the public jumps on this with some more Chiefs, even though they've lost 7 straight?
Chiefs. Yeah, I was just exactly what I was just going to say. I feel like the public's going to be off the Chiefs because of that stat alone. Okay. 7 in a row. They're eating into their bankroll, including me on a couple games because I've been like, "Where's the bounce spot for KC?" So I don't know, man. I don't think so. And the public won't pick up on this. Obviously, pros are going to know about the win factor, and if you get a lower scoring game, that's always going to support the dog and taking the points. Public will not have a clue on that though. So I mean, maybe if it gets like to a certain number, the public comes back in. But I don't think it's substantial, man. I don't. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like I'm looking at the money line movement. Not a ton. Now, obviously, it opened at 180, plus 180 for Browns, and it dropped all the way down, which here's the thing, man. Or no, I'm sorry. It opened at 120.
Yeah, where are you seeing it? Because I'm at 180 right now.
Okay, I misspoke. It opened at 120. Sorry. The glare kind of made it, I don't know. I guess I can't see. But it looks like the total's going up. Sorry, I guess we could bring up the browser here. It looks like the total is actually shifting not in my favor, which is great with that. And I'm looking at 43.5 now. I only got it. Yeah, that's so, what a bummer. If you look at here, it's 43.5. I got it at 42, and I liked it. And I hit it at 42. Yeah, it's a best bet, 42. Interesting.
Listen, you got to ride. You got to ride with what you think, Fuck it.
That's what I'm doing. So anyway, that's it. I got, obviously hitting that total, man. That's the best bet is Browns Chiefs under 42.
Okay.
What you got?
That's your money line play too.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah. I was surprised when I saw that this was the game.
Yeah.
Because I could support taking the points, but Chiefs are just so fucking good at winning games, and Jameis Winston is kind of good at not winning games. He's good at making you think he's going to win a game and then giving it away.
I know.
But hey, that's it. Otherwise, I mean, you got the narratives.
Hey, the takeaway, third fewest in the NFL. Maybe they're not going to take away the game. Maybe.
And what you said early on, the strength of the Browns is throwing the football, and the absolute weakness of the Chiefs' entire team is their pass defense.
Yes.
Good run defense, terrible pass defense.
Yep.
So Jameis could rip.
And the Browns,
being on the under, we don't know.
Browns have the number 1 rush defense in the NFL. Rush defense.
Nice. Okay,
yeah.
So if it is windy, that's going to support that, and then it'll be interesting to see what the Browns do. Do they chuck it a fucking 100 times still? You hope not for the under's sake.
I know. I just don't know with Mahomes, man. He goes and wins games, and that includes him running sometimes. That includes him obviously taking what the defense gives him. It's tough to tell, man. Right? Like you don't know with that, and that's why they win games because you don't know.
Yes.
So anyway, what you got on the total?
Total. Okay, so we are going to the Ravens-Giants game. Now, I do want to say this. I will be at the game this weekend, so I wanted action. Otherwise, I don't know if I would have. I don't know if I would have looked at this game had I not be attending. And I just found out my seats are going to be sick. They're ground level, right by the tunnel, right by the players' tunnel. We got the ultimate hookup.
Oh, is this the trip with your dad? Sorry, I'm trying to figure that out.
No, work friend. So my work friend lives a mile from the stadium. So he hit me up, and he was like, dude, come out. And then since the Giants are so bad, he hit me up this morning and was like, dude, we got fucking free tickets to the fucking field. And I was like, no way. Free food, everything. Yeah, like they serve free food. Because I was like, wait, what's the price on these? Because he said they're $750 tickets. And I was like, I did not agree to $750.
For real.
And he's like, no, dude, we got them for free. And I was like, he's like, they're just literally like kind of giving away tickets right now to get people to show up.
Oh my gosh, really? Okay.
Anyway, so I have a lot of bets on this game, but I like the total. No, I like the total pretty much because of the Ravens, right? There are a lot of key players on the Giants that they kind of set down. Dexter Lawrence being a big key there.
Stud,
we've talked about he's a stud. We've talked about him. And the Ravens like running that football, man. Obviously, we know that. You got Lamar, King Henry. That's not news here. It's not like the Giants have an elite pass defense either. The Ravens also coming off of a bye. Personally, I think this is a 34-10 game. That's what I'm putting it at. Number I got... Ooh, I don't have it pulled up. Son of a bitch. That's bad on me. I'm pretty sure I got 42.5.
Okay, that's what... Yeah.
Almost positive I got 42.5. Let's 42.5. That is it. Confirmed it. Yep. Okay, perfect. Yeah. So, and I didn't figure this is gonna like move with me, but my thought the Ravens play much better in the second half defense. So I think in the first half, we could see the Giants put up 10 points. We could see the Ravens put up 20. Then the second half it slows down a little bit. But the Ravens are still they're gonna break a couple because the Derrick Henry always does that to teams, and it's the NFL. It's not like college where we're putting in backups and laying off. So I did split this bet. I did the first half over and the full game over. Now the best bet I'm giving out is the full game because I truly think the NFL, you just don't take your foot off the gas until you have a substantial lead.
Yeah.
So I don't think that foot comes off the gas until the Ravens have at least 34 points. And like I said, I think Giants can get out there and get at least 7, like pretty quick. Because Daboll is better scripted. Ravens are better at making adjustments at halftime defensively. So anyway, so that's the split case there. Not a best bet. I did the same thing with the Ravens. I took a -8.5 first half and -16 for the full game. It feels like the most Joe bet of the year. I understand that. I don't care. Fucking the Giants. The Giants just came off a devastating loss, dude, where they had like a 25-yard field goal to tie and push it to overtime, and they couldn't even fucking get that through. They couldn't even block. And I'm just like, what's the fight that's going to be left in this team? And my buddy, so he lives in New York, he's a Giants fan. He said like a lot of the players were shut down, like Dexter Lawrence.
Yeah.
And his thought is like, we think the owner came to the coach, said, hey, you're safe. And so the coach was like, I'm shutting motherfuckers down then. We're playing for next year.
Oh.
That's obviously, this is just two guys talking, like me and you talking.
Yeah. We don't know.
But that factors in a little bit. So anyways, that's where I'm at, man. I think I could keep that one pretty quick. Any thoughts on your end?
Yeah, so I got another bet for you. We'll go ahead and preview it here. If you look at that Giants line, man, suspect at best. It has been all year, but they've stepped up at times. You know what I mean? Especially against kind of weaker pass rushers. We kind of got bit last week, a little bit. But I'm going to go back to, if I got bit, so we got bit on the Breesy pick, right? Defensive tackle for the Saints. Ended up getting a sack last week, right? I had two options. They were both on my board on Hard Rock. Granderson is one and Breesy was the other. Both for similar odds, and we went Granderson. Got bit. Breesy had a sack last week. So I'm going to go back to the defensive tackle, interior alignments, basically. Especially because, the base personnel, specifically for the Ravens, they do like a 3-4 look. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so I'm going to hit, especially due to the passing snaps that this guy gets, and you're going to have to help me out with the name. You might know him. Nnamdi Madubuike.
That was good.
Okay, yeah. All right. Really good pass rusher. I think he's got 6 sacks on the year. And he didn't play a lot of snaps last week. And in week 13, who did they have week 13 again? Sorry, I'm not looking at it on top of my head. Oh yeah, that's right. They had the Eagles in a really tough game. Who probably ran the ball a lot. So I'm going to go to that. So the left side of their line, right, has some newcomers. I'm talking about the Giants here, right? Left tackle is reasonably new in terms of starts. Right, and then Aaron Stinney is also a backup. Just came in last week and played what looks like a little bit over 44 snaps. Okay, so they got left side of the line is new, as in collaboration. It's going to be weak sauce still. And guess what? The center for the Giants is the worst in the league at pass blocking at 46.5 on PFF. So he's 39 out of 40 in pass blocking ranking. So the entire left side of the line basically is rough. New, trash, not good. Right? So I'm going to go back to the defensive tackle look. Same thing that we've done earlier this year. Dexter Lawrence got us one way back. I'm going to go Madubuike for a sack. I hope he's listed. You know how that goes with the sacks. Not a best bet, just something that you should bet on.
Okay. All right. I like it. So we're continuing to attack the Giants' shitty offensive line.
Yeah, I'm trying, man. 2 sacks let up last week. Saints don't have a great pass rush, so I kind of saw that. But they had 6 the week before the Giants did versus Dallas, and they had Micah Parsons stole one there. So I don't know. That was my bet.
You're gonna have those. Yeah, you're gonna have those games though, where teams that historically, whatever it may be, where like the opposite happens, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they changed it for the year. It was a 1-game sample.
Yep, I know. So okay.
Yeah. Should I get to my money line then?
Please do. I cheated. Go ahead. Hit it.
Okay. Dolphins Texans action. Let's go.
I looked at this. I really did.
Did you?
I did.
Okay.
But the Dolphins are not a good football team. But go ahead.
Dolphins are not a good football team when they have to play in cold weather because apparently they're all soft as fuck.
I mean, it's true.
I mean, I don't know, but that Packers game, watching that, God, they literally did not want to tackle. And they are a bad tackling team. We talked about that before.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, Texans aren't good, man. Both teams coming off the bye here. Now, so the edge is taken out by that. Texans are prone to give up some big plays. Who has fucking playmakers on their team?
I mean, we got Tyreek Hill. We got Waddle.
Jalen Waddle
had some big catches last week.
Yeah, man. Okay, so was I off on that then?
What's up?
Oh, I'm thinking last week here. Okay, you had the Jets. That's right. They played the Jets.
Oh, I watched the whole game because I was at a Dolphins bar.
Oh, so of course you were invested in that.
I was fully invested. I did a lot
Jets
of bets.
put up a good fight in that too. They that's the best they probably looked.
Because the Dolphins suck.
You
don't believe it? Okay.
I do not believe the Dolphins suck.
Okay.
I think there's inconsistency with that team. Who I do think sucks is the fucking Texans. That's who I think sucks.
I'm down with that too.
So you think it's two bad teams? Either way, even if that's the case, two bad teams like Jags and Titans. Let's fucking rip the underdog. No, I like the Dolphins here because they attack the middle of the field. Texans just they're prone to that. They're prone to giving up big plays. Only worry, does Tua get concussed here? Because we got Anderson coming off the edge for the Texans. But obviously, we can't factor that into our handicap. We can't do that at all.
I know.
But, yeah, and do you know top of your head, Dolphins rush defense? It's the only thing. I don't have stats
Dolphins
on
rush
that.
defense is bad, but they grade well. Does that make sense?
Yes, I know exactly what you're saying.
They grade actually really well in terms of some of their guys. When you look at kind of like actual numbers, now they did late in the game, they're ranked 20th. If they're late in the game, they got to Rodgers finally. But like they just, I don't know, man. Rodgers, I know he's kind of elusive, but it's funny. Campbell's still, as old as he is, still a quality player. He really is.
Very good. Seiler's great too.
Seiler's good too, but they just, I don't know, man. Like when you watch them, it just feels like I don't think they factor in. I think they're a below average pass rush team, which is where they're ranked.
And I agree on the pass rush. I'm thinking rush defense, though.
Oh, my bad. Rush. Oh, I'm so sorry. I skipped
because I think that's the way to beat the Texans. So that's why I brought that up, because I think if you shut down the Texans' run game, like Mixon's had some really good back weeks where he's going over 100 yards. And when I watch Texans game, that's where I'm sitting there thinking like, thank God for their rushing attack, because CJ Stroud's throw for 120 yards and sometimes just thrown into fucking double coverage, like out of nowhere. Like, what is this guy doing?
They're top five.
I think if you shut down the Texans' run game, that is how you beat them. And then with Dolphins, I think going to be able to bust off a couple of big plays. I don't think they'll be consistently driving the football here because they're not great. Obviously, they're not a playoff team. But anyways, this is a game where I like fading the Texans, man. Don't worry that it's on the road really, because it's a dome game.
Game. I saw that too. Yeah,
yep.
That makes sense.
Yep. So we don't have to worry about the weather or anything like that.
Crazy, man. The Dolphins, as bad as I thought they've looked, man. I mean, you're looking at they've won. Was that 4 out of 5, and you're banking on 5 out of 6 here?
Well, you got to remember they had the 4-game period without Tua.
I know, and he looks fine. I have no qualms with him at quarterback. You know what I mean? And I thought they ran some good plays for most of that game. I thought the play calling was above average, pretty solid. You could tell late in the game, Mike did what he should. You get the ball to Tyreek, you get the ball to Waddle, right? Yeah. You go make some stuff happen, and he did.
Jonnu Smith has been a revelation too this year.
The only problem, which is why I say they're not a good team, is they can't run the ball. I'm a big run the ball guy. You know what I mean? They can't run it.
That's fair.
Their O-line gets no push on the run. The Jets dominated them. Like, I don't know. I just kind of thought that was over the top. But they pass block pretty well. It's just the weirdest thing. It's the weirdest thing. That line is kind of weird.
It is. And the Texans, I don't think they have a great rush defense, but they can get after the passer. They've got 2 edge guys. So that could be a key from the other side. Can Dolphins contain their pass rush, right? And then can the can the Dolphins also stop the rush offense for the Texans? Yeah,
it'd be interesting to see a yardage play here on Tyreek Hill. Texans are the 28th worst tackling team in the NFL. So a little bit of yak there maybe for Tyreek Hill. I don't know.
And two bad tackling teams. I never considered the over, but
dome game.
Just Nuggets.
Dome game too. Yep, you know how those roll. Okay.
Yeah. We'll be moving on to the prop.
Let's do it, man. I like this prop a lot. This is kind of a Joe play, I think, a little bit, but like it makes complete sense. I have Adam Thielen for the Carolina Panthers. I did see, tidbits because, we were at the like a brewery / bar, what do you want to call it, that had Sunday tickets. So I got a little bit of everybody.
Nice.
Where we're at, and which is nice. See, like that's kind of also why I hate the NFL a little bit. I don't have Sunday ticket, and I don't need to watch the fucking Buccaneers and Jaguars every weekend. That's just
every
me.
Week, yes, based on where you're at. Yeah.
That's just me, bro, man. Yeah, I mean, I should dive into red zone, but just to get a little bit of taste.
I was gonna say I love red zone. That's where I got hooked.
I know, and that's just kind of where kind of makes me a little bit turned off on the NFL at times. But anyway, Panthers pass it, obviously a lot more with Bryce Young playing a little bit better, 64% of the time. Thielen has hit this over. It's 51.5 is what I got it at. Okay. Thielen has hit this every game, the last 3 games, right? Since kind of Bryce Young, I guess, I don't know if you want to call reincarnated. I don't know if that's fair to say. The season just got better. We just say that. He just got a little better.
Yeah.
Yeah. 11 targets last game. Love that.
He's been picking it up a lot, man.
Bro, 10
because
targets
he was injured. He was injured for like the first 8 weeks of this year. So he's kind of got himself back into it.
Yep. I think there's a connection there. Let's just say that. There's a connection between the two. I've watched a little bit of Panthers game now. I guess you could say a full half total. There's a connection there. Especially late in the dude, that team fights, man. I mean, dude, they got the Eagle. They had him. They should have won. Leggett had it. I don't know if you saw that or not. See, Leggett had that ball. I thought it was caught.
No.
So there was a deep ball over the middle. I swear I thought Leggett caught it. Obviously, it was this little screen in the corner. Leggett catches it and rolls into the end zone, but he caught it on the ground, so it hit the ground and he rolled with it.
No, I do remember that. Yes, it was, and it like barely hit the ground. Like it was the slow motion replay because it looked. I remember that now because I was like, oh my God, Panthers beat him. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Sorry. Yeah.
I'm a big Leggett fan, although he's had a drop won the game for the last 6 weeks or 5 weeks, so he's kind of roughing it with the drops, but I think he'll be fine. Anyway, 51.5 is what I have. Cowboys have the 29th ranked pass coverage, if we want to go more specifically, and they're 25th in tackling. Thielen's a good kind of a 10 yards and short guy sometimes because he catches so well. So that's kind of where I'm looking at there. So I see, getting as many targets, let's just say 8 to 10. Let's go low here just to be on the safe side. Even at that, man, I still like the over 51.5. I see that going up. Pretty basic.
I do too.
And they're at home.
Too. That's basic, but that's good though. Like, that's good. The only thing I would be worried about is the Dolphins or Cowboys pass rush because they've looked better in the past few weeks. That's the only concern but Bryce Young's kind of dishing it out pretty quick lately. I think that's one of the changes they've made.
The only thing is, like, I wonder about this Cowboys team. They're kind of hot and cold, right? Like, you could maybe throw out last week's game, the Cowboys and Bengals, right? Because Joe Burrow is so good at being elusive. And one of they had 2 sacks, the Cowboys did. And one of them was like a 3rd and 15. And I don't know if you heard Chris Collins were talking about it on that Monday night game. He said Joe Burrow told him when it's 3rd and long, he will try to break out of the pocket if there's guys around because a sack doesn't matter. But if he can break out, receivers get open, that's a huge gain to get to 3rd and long. So he'll just eat a sack at 3rd and long because what's 5 yards on a punt? They're NFL punters. Yep. I never thought of it that way, but that was kind of cool to listen to. So anyway, I'm going to cheat and say that's 1 sack off for the Cowboys. So they only had 1 last week. I don't know. I know it's cheating. But like what... I just don't know what this Cowboys team is in terms of motivation, bro. I just don't. Michael Parsons leaving the field early, and he's like their guy.
Oh, he is their guy. So I had the same thought. I didn't bet this game because, like, my first thought was, like, Panthers have come off, 2 really hard-fought games versus the Eagles and the Chiefs that they could have won both of those.
Totally agree.
Like you said, just scrappy until the end, dude. And there's a point where, like, a team, I feel like when they're just grinding versus the best teams, they have a big letdown. But then I think about the Cowboys, and they actually they started playing good. Like, I'd given up on that team, like most people had.
Yeah.
They strung off a couple wins and looked good against, like, I thought they should have beat the Bengals in that game, too.
Well, they did, and then they bumped the punt or whatever, blocked it.
Yeah. Darren Simmons special, baby.
It's terrible they didn't cut to him during that. We'd love to see him.
I did. I was waiting. That's all I was waiting for. I was like, "Where's Darren?" He's probably pissed, even though it worked out in their favor. He's cussing somebody out.
I know.
Anyways, not to take away, but I was like, but after seeing Parsons and the way that team was just fucking deflated, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, not back in the Cowboys. Not back in the Cowboys now.
Because this is the first time the Panthers have been favored, obviously speaking, all year. This is the first time they'll be favored. How do they handle this?
Rightly so.
Yeah, totally agree.
That's a good point, though. How do they handle it?
How do they handle
this? We talk about like the Steelers, 5-0 as an underdog this year against the spread and straight up. That's Mike Tomlin's special. 65% in his career as a dog. Crazy.
Yep.
You flip that shit around when he's a favorite, he's like 40%.
I know.
Like, what? Like, there is something about that. How do you handle being a favorite?
Yep. And that's why the Cowboys were going to be my pick, but you just said it. You can't get back. You can't back this team. You can't.
Not right.
Because what kind of effort are they going to show on D here?
I could see them folding.
I could too. I could.
And with the Panthers being scrappy, Panthers they're fighting harder. It seems like so.
It's not worth a bet. Anyway, what you got?
Anyways, going back to your prop. I like that, dude. That's like the fact that I didn't think of that. I'm like, damn, that's a great fucking bet.
It's a basic bet.
It's a basic bet, but I fucking like it, dude.
Yeah, hell yeah.
My bet is also incredibly basic. So we're going to the Bills Lions now.
Okay.
Here's what. So, well, let's cut right to the chase. I'm taking Josh Allen, longest rush over 12.5 yards. Guy blew it up last week. It's a high leverage scrambling quarterback in a high leverage game. The Bills were competing for that one spot, right? So last week was crushing them, scored 42 points and lose. He ran for over 70 yards, Josh Allen did in that game. The reason I'm taking the longest rush, so back it up a little bit. The Lions play more man defense. That can help a scrambling quarterback. Because if you're sitting in zone, you got guys there, right? If you're playing man, you're going to have more opportunity. Now, I don't think the Lions are going to be so dumb that they don't have a spy on him at times, and just play man. But they play at a higher rate of man than they do zone coverage. Over the last 3 seasons, they have allowed the most rushing yards to opposing quarterbacks. We hit Anthony Richardson earlier in the year versus them, and that one hit. Because we had talked about that. I went back and looked, and I was like, man, every time the Lions play an athletic quarterback, they hit their over rushing. So I looked at the rushing, but I said, you know what? Because I think the Lions are going to be a little bit smarter here, and I think they're going to put a spy on him after what he did last week, just takes one run. I think he's going to have some high leverage because I think this will be a back-and-forth game. I think he's going to have some high leverage spot where he breaks out a 15 to 20-yard run. When the Lions do lose containment or that spy, he makes that spy miss. When they're in man coverage, I think there's going to be a situation where he breaks off like a 20-yard run, man. So it's a really basic play as well from a prop standpoint. But I think there's also a lot of things to support that, which, I kind of already touched on with the Lions, and then the high leverage game too. We know athletic quarterbacks scramble more in high leverage games. The Bills absolutely need this because now they've got 2 games behind the Chiefs. So yeah, that's basically that, man. I'm really excited to watch the game though.
Yeah. So if you're looking at this, it's kind of interesting to see. The Lions looks like they have some injuries on the linebacker side. Dating back maybe a couple weeks ago.
A big time. Yep.
Yeah, Ezekiel Turner's in. Although he's graded pretty decent when he does get snaps, so that's kind of promising. And then obviously Quan Alexander looks like they're in. So they got 2 backup linebackers in for this. Yeah. How does that factor in, I guess, so to speak? But, I mean...
Because that's kind of your first line of defense a little bit.
I think definitely when you're talking about quarterback rushing here.
Yeah.
I mean, you
know. That is interesting that those backups grade so well, because that was like a travesty when Anzalone went down, and I can't remember the other guy that
limited
went down.
Snaps, though, if you take a look. I mean, we're talking 15, 20, less than that. Less than that.
And that's why they're not don't have a ranking, is because they don't have enough snaps.
Yep, exactly. I mean, 82 last week versus the Rams, but then 55-50. I don't know. I think it's, we have a long of 30 last week, right? Against KC had a long of 26. And then in the Colts, he had a long of 21. And you're at 24?
12.5 for the longest rush.
Oh, 12.5. Man, he's been running a lot more, and he's been running a lot better. Anything after let's just go week 8. Really good rushing numbers, I would say. I mean, he's got a couple duds in there, but everybody's going to have that as a quarterback rushing.
He's hit this 4 of the last 5.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's a bold bet.
Do you?
I do.
Why?
Because, at the end of the day, that's almost a 50-50. I think. You think it's better than that?
I do. We could say that about every bet, though. Technically, every bet's a 50-50.
Agreed. But,
okay.
It's just the amount of, the feeling of the attempts. And you know what I mean? I just feel like you're banking on him deciding to run, which obviously he does. Yeah. He's been doing. But we're just hoping he does that, right? And I just feel like you're just kind of at the mercy of a broken down play, maybe even. I don't know. I just feel like that's kind of, I don't know.
I see the point you're making there, where there's a lot of variables that go into that.
Yep.
But I mean, you alluded to it. He's been running a lot more lately. High leverage games, they run more, and it just takes one. So yeah, it is a little bit of coin flip, but I guess I think the odds are in my favor.
Okay, yeah, 12.5 though. It's kind of nice. I thought it was higher than that, so that makes it better. We already talked about the the Nnamdi Madubuike sack, but I got one more only because I thought he looked really good against the Cowboys, more specifically. And the Titans obviously have a very poor offensive line in terms of pass blocking, and it's Will Levis, always great. Trey Hendrickson at the Bengals, I think could be a good look here.
I figured that's where you were going.
I think that's a totally a fair look. Not necessarily a best bet, but I think it's worth taking a peek just because he's had such a great year. I mean, watching him play, dude, I think he's every bit in the conversation as a top 5 pass rusher this season, which I would have never guessed. Yeah, pass rusher, edge rusher kind of guy. Yeah, dude, he's looked really, really good. I mean, if you look at PFF here, he's top 5, he's 5th.
Yep. And his run defense, he's 51st.
Yeah, well, everybody's got strengths and weaknesses,
Hey, but we're not betting him to get fucking tackles.
No, I am not. But all right, moving on. We got
sorry, just real quick here too. Yeah, I mean that offensive line is terrible, dude. And again, a lot of these things that you attack, I noticed it's obviously bad offensive line, and then you take a quarterback that takes sacks because he holds onto the football.
I tried.
Those both apply here. They both apply here.
Yeah, I tried. And you got to look at the defensive line. I mean, I made some bad bets, like Matthew Judon with the freaking Falcons. Falcons don't have a defensive pass rush. What are we doing here? I think some of those can be a bit of a stretch, right? You're looking for it. Oh shoot, we got it.
You were hot at that point. You were like, let's do this.
I know. I was out of hand. It's already up. Trey Henderson is already up at -180. See, I don't know.
Oh.
That's an SGP. It's a same game parlay with something that you really like in that game, right? I think at that point, kind of what I did with the attempt. I might do what I did last week. I might go that with an attempts by Levis because I'm assuming they're going to be losing, and the pass defense for the Bengals sucks.
Yes, that is all very true. You don't like? I guess I would take the easy approach and just take Bengals money line with it. You don't like that?
I do like it. Actually, I have Bengals by the spread as well.
Oh, okay, you do. Okay, so yeah.
All right, I'll take it. We got it. We got it on the books. Just took it.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
Trey Anderson's got to get a sack. All right. Anyway, moving on. Okay, I got a couple, just 2 bowl games for you. Not a lot. Just because it's next week during the week. Right, if you're hanging out at the house, right, work's gonna be a little slow, maybe. You know what I mean? We got a couple, and West Virginia's playing, so we got to have that. West Virginia versus Memphis. All right, I've really kind of dove into this. I'm trying to mix it up. So I got my feel still here. What I do is I go. Action has a great, not that they sponsor us, but they got a great little article that updates every day on who's transferring, who's out, what's happened with the team. So I go to that and I start marking off players on how Phil still has them starting, ranked, and how they look and what the backups look like here. Okay, that's what I've been trying to do. Now, is that the answer? Is that the best move? I don't really think there's a best move for this. You just bowl games are kind of crazy. You just got to go and feel, want, desire, and experience kind of with the backups. Like, have they started before? Are they a freshman? Right? Like, guys that'll play, but it just gets kind of crazy. So I don't know. West Virginia lost their coach, Neil Brown. They made a hire, Rich Rod. We know about that. It's pretty nuts.
They did hire Rich Rod.
They did. Sorry, I didn't know
yes.
That. Isn't that crazy?
I heard the report that's the angle they were considering, and I would like it to be sweet if they did. Sorry, continue.
Yeah. Love Memphis in the game. Okay, Seth Hennigan at the moment's quoted to play. He's a senior for Memphis, their quarterback. I do expect him to be drafted in the NFL. Not saying he's great. Not saying you're looking at a 6th rounder, something like that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's fine. They like to throw the ball. They like to kind of get after it. And West Virginia got absolutely destroyed by Texas Tech, lost their coach. What kind of motivation are we going to have here? Right? Especially there's 2 offensive linemen for West Virginia that will be drafted. Right? So what are we going to get from them? Wyatt Milam, right? I think it's the left guard. No, left tackle. He'll definitely be drafted. He might even sit out. He has not said that yet. But West Virginia's got a couple offensive linemen that might be drafted, so who knows what's going to shake out there.
Yep.
The head coach of Memphis is 3-1 in bowl games. I think that factors in how, as a head coach, do you treat this week?
I agree.
Right? That's huge, because if you just don't give a shit, your players are not going to give a shit, and you're going to lose.
Yep.
But if you have a little bit of fun, but also have business, there's a nice, happy medium there. So I like the 3-1 in bowl games. We have an interim coach for West Virginia. I dig that. And Memphis at the moment hasn't reported any type of transfers or anything like that. Nothing like that. They're missing their starting linebacker. Nope, not yet.
Oh.
They're missing their starting linebacker, but he was out week 5. It don't matter. He decided he was going to transfer after week 5, and it didn't matter. Okay. Yeah. Now, Mario Anderson, which is their running back, it's probably their best player. It's funny. I saw him play USF this year, and he spit in a dude's face, got kicked out in the game. Yeah, that's the best story I know. It's pretty wild, right?
18-year-olds, man.
Yeah, I know. West Virginia is letting up 66.7 pass completion percentage, and Memphis is a passing team, so the pass defense is extremely weak for West Virginia. I know it's 2.5 is the spread, right?
4.5 now.
I'm assuming minus 4.5 Memphis.
Yes.
Yep. Okay. Glad
Huge
I got
move.
on that. Yeah.
Huge move. It was open to West Virginia minus 2.5. What did you take it at? Minus 2.5.
I have Memphis minus 2.5. It's a best bet.
Okay.
I actually might like it at minus 4.5 as well.
I was going to say I wouldn't be surprised if this number closed at like 6.5.
Especially considering more players might sit out for West Virginia as possible.
And when you talk about like going to be drafted, those guys aren't fucking playing. I'm sorry. I mean, maybe, but not usually, unless they're just hardcore football dudes. You know, and what's the coaching staff look like when you fire a guy? Because Rich Rod does not coach this game. Tell me if I'm wrong, but him and his staff do not have any part in this football game.
Correct, they do not.
So it's only the rest of the staff that is currently, let's be real, looking for other fucking jobs right now. Yeah. They're not game planning. They're looking for their next fucking payday. Am I wrong?
Yeah, that's totally what it is. I mean, they're just...
Yeah.
I mean... the top line, Josiah Trotter for West Virginia has entered the transfer portal. Here's the thing about transfer portal. If you see that, you're going to knee-jerk. Be like, well, they're out. Marshall's losing half their team in the transfer portal. But they can still play. That is the key that you don't know. So Sam Houston State is losing about half their team. Same thing as Marshall. Transfer portal, because their head coach got hired by, I don't know off the top of my head, I'm not looking at it, but he's leaving. So Sam Houston State's losing half their team. They all have said they're still going to play. Not guaranteed, right? It's the grapevine bullshit. You know, when a school calls and goes, yeah, I'll give you, $200,000 if you don't play, right? Yeah. So you don't get injured. But they can still play if you're transferring.
That's right, because this just opens the window to declare, to put your name in the hat,
That's
basically,
exactly right?
But that doesn't mean anything. You don't have to commit to a team. Okay.
So keep that in mind.
That's a good point. Yeah, I had forgot about that until you started saying that. And it's like, oh, yeah, they just put their name in the hat. That's all they're doing. What kind of deals can we get? And they could just go back to their current school.
Yeah, so I kind of...
Or play still, I guess. Yeah.
I know, it's weird. It's definitely weird a few years ago when Florida played UCF in a bowl game and the starting quarterback for Florida still played. It was weird. It wasn't Anthony Richardson. It was somebody else. Anyway, it kind of leads into my next one. Super weird, but it's so weird you have to take James Madison with it, I think.
You do? Okay.
Yeah. So, just an update. West Virginia game's on the 17th. I think that is a Monday. Sorry, not looking at my calendar directly. No,
5
it's a
days
Tuesday.
from now.
I'm so sorry. It's a Tuesday. This next one's on a Wednesday, right? December 18th on Wednesday. It's Western Kentucky at James Madison. All right. So, Western Kentucky obviously also has some issues with transfers portal, right? They're all their starters, mostly on the defensive side of ball, are leaving. 3 quarterbacks are transferring.
3.
The third string, Turner Helton, also transferring. Now, kind of what I just said earlier, they still may play. Even though they're in the portal, they still may play in this game. Okay? So keep that in mind. But this is a lot of drama, a lot of snaps that could even a half are out. Right? Like, there's a lot of drama here that's missing. James Madison, at the moment, they got a couple guys on transfer portal, but they, you know what I mean? There's only one. And the starting left tackle, Ramil, he's graded okay for James Madison. And the defensive lineman had 275 snaps this year, is also transferring. But that's it. So they don't have a lot of questions on their side of the ball, right? Because they lost their coach last year. So they have a brand new head coach this year. Had a decent year. But I got James Madison -7. The only thing is they lost their quarterback at the end of their last game. Okay, so he went out, Lonzo Barnett, starting quarterback. And
you would know that versus Marshall.
The last game, yeah, that's right. They did play, and he got banged up. So their backups only had 1 snap this year.
And do we know the quarterback's like out, the one that got banged up that against Marshall?
Yes, he will miss the bowl game due to injury. Now,
okay.
Billy Atkins, been at James Madison for quite a while. He's a junior, right? And he does have some starts, or at least he has some throws. So, and they're a running team anyway, so it doesn't really matter. They love to run the ball. They love to pound it. And Western Kentucky is ranked 100th in rush defense. So, yes. So half their defense could be out due to the transfer portal. They're already terrible with them anyway as a rush defense. James Madison loves to rush it. They're 48th in the country in rush offense, if that matters, and if you want to compare the two. And they're going to force the run because they got a backup quarterback anyway.
Yeah.
And the receivers kind of suck. So they're not going to try to force it down your throat. But being a junior quarterback, so Billy Atkins, who's going to replace him in this game, the quarterback for James Madison, he's a junior. Does have some snaps and been in the James Madison program for a few years. So he's lasted from the last head coach to this new one. So he's a James Madison guy. Local guy, I'm assuming. Maybe I haven't really looked up that much into it. But yeah, anyway, I like James Madison. I got -7. All depends on if those guys play or not. So if you need anything concrete in terms of the quarterbacks, dude, if none of those starting quarterbacks play, the 3 quarterbacks play for Western Kentucky, bro, who are they going to do?
What's this number going to go to? I mean,
food. I looked at the depth chart. Point? That was the depth chart in Bill Steele's magazine. Was those 3 guys?
Those 3 guys, and they all said that,
and they were they all might not play. So I mean, if you got any data there, I'm banking on them at least 1 or 2 not being there. So
100%. Yeah, I can't imagine all 3 leave, but
one thing I'm
crazy.
Interested in is a lot of unders in these bowl games. How's that shake out here, right? Because a lot of starters are out. What does that mean? I know on the defensive side, you could flip it the other way, right? Weak guys on D's.
That's the thing, though. I feel like you could go both ways with that argument, and I don't know which one's accurate.
I have no idea either.
If we had like historical data, and or just say in the past 3 years when the transfer portal kind of become a thing, I only think you need 3 years of data on this.
Yep.
And that's something I never thought to like look at.
Yeah, we'll have more. I mean, I'll have a lot more coming up.
Once, because the next weeks, that's where we were going to get in the meat of the bowl games.
Yeah, the meat of the bowl games, and I don't know. I like bowl games a lot. It's always kind of been my thing, I guess, to kind of pay attention to. But it's gotten even harder now with this NIL stuff. But it might make it easy because if you got to start making these deals, man. Like, hey, man, you can't. You got to play in the bowl game. You can't be transferring. You got to play all whatever, and that's why contracts need to be introduced. That's why they need to be introduced. But whatever, that's down the line here. But we'll go into best bets. Here we got. I'll go with mine first. All right, we got West Virginia at Memphis. I told you, kind of went over that a little bit. I love Memphis 2.5. You just said it went to 4.5. I like that too. I mean, especially with West Virginia's kind of situation here. And fans will be kind of looking for the Rich Rod. I don't know. I think it's half and half. Half want Rich Rod, half definitely do not. Right? They made shirts back in the day, Fraud Rod. Right? Like that was his name. Anyway, it's interesting. I like Memphis 2.5.
He's back, baby.
He's back, man. And then I got a teaser. Here we go. I'm on the teaser wagon.
First teaser ever.
First teaser ever. I love this, man. Bears 12.5. Getting 12.5 at Vikings. It's a divisional matchup. You're a divisional matchup guy. Right? Underdogs and divisional matchups. I just put my notes away. I was going to throw you a quick little nugget here off the book I read a couple years ago. And I'll be quick with it. Road divisional underdogs have a winning record against the spread all time. All time have a winning record. 53%, which is just over kind of that threshold to make money.
Yep. Right,
that 52% is kind of even break make money point. Underdogs, this is a nice one too. You like this one. Underdogs coming off a blowout loss of 21 points or more. Cover the next game, cover the spread at a 54+% rate. Coming off a blowout loss. So it was 25 points last week with the 49ers.
Yep. And criteria.
Yep. So I'm going to add some points to this to kind of keep it going here. Divisional matchup here in the Dome against the Vikings, plus 12.5 for the Bears. And then obviously guess I'm only on the Browns this week, man. Browns plus 10. I think I've kind of gone with the same train of 8 in a row. I'm assuming or I'm hoping, because if the Chiefs can't cover 7 straight, and when they do cover, how much is it going to be? I guess you could say, well, they're due and they'll destroy it. Or do they barely get by because it's been barely, you know what I mean, all year?
I think that's more likely.
Okay, that's why I'm taking the plus 10 on the Browns here, and then I got 12.5 Bears, so it's 6-point teaser. That's my another best bet.
Yeah, I didn't bet these games, but I will say in my Pick'em league, I picked Bears and the Browns.
Hell yeah! All right.
This is like because this is one of those dumb spots where nobody's going to pick the Bears. Nobody's going to fucking
exactly.
Pick them. And Vikings just came off an overperformance game where they had like 3 50-yard fucking bomb plays where it's like that shit. There's due for regression. The Bears are going to be embarrassed. They're going to show up.
Yep, and Bears were a good against the spread team with Eberflus. They had a winning record. They had a winning record.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's not like this team can't cover, I guess, so to speak. I know last week, and again, we're bouncing back off a 21-point loss.
Yeah,
25.
I like that
sorry,
stat.
plus 21. Kansas City Chiefs Browns total under 45. That's wait, no, I wrote that wrong. I'm so sorry.
That was 43.
I have 42. Sorry, we could edit that.
Well, and it's 43 now, so you can even do 43. That's
okay. Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, I'll edit really quick. Here we go. On the fly. So I got 42.5. There we go.
Beautiful.
I don't know how that slipped in there. That's what she said. Under 42.5. It's a weather play. I'm going with weather plays, man. I'm a weather guy. Adam Thielen over. I'm a weather guy. Over 51.5 receiving yards for Adam Thielen. Panthers connections there. Targets are high, so I'm banking on that, keeping it going this week for them.
I love it.
What you got?
You love it. Ravens Giants over 42.5. Listen, I'm at the game. I want fucking points. All right,
yeah.
Let's go. 34-10 final. This isn't going to clear by a lot. It's going to be a 34-10 score. Just telling you now, book it. So I also took the Ravens minus 16, not a best bet. Josh Allen over 12.5 longest rush. I give it a 60%. Ox gives it a 50. We'll see what happens. Ox didn't like it. He didn't like the under I bet last week. And you didn't like the under last week though, and it did not hit. So,
I know.
So anyways, but I still like it. Don't care. Dolphins +3 at the Texans. We talked about a couple of the keys, I think, to that game and if it can happen. Neither of us think they're great teams. I think the Texans are even worse than what other people do.
Yeah.
There it is. Here, final bet. Look what I got for you.
Oh, man. Okay.
I'm giving out a +160 bet this week because you did it last week with the Bears, and I said that was a bold move, Ox.
Yep.
So, and I could not decide between my teaser legs who I liked more. And I said, fuck it. I'm putting all three of these motherfuckers in. +160. Seahawks, +8.5. They're at home versus the Packers. Packers, they're fine. Seahawks, they're on the up and up, baby. Defense is fucking real. Let's go. Bills +8.5 versus the Lions. I think that's going to be an absolute fucking awesome game. Sometimes, obviously, these games, it's outside of that because, when I took the Chiefs in the teaser versus the Bills, that did not cover. But I really like these high leverage games. We're going to keep it close. Buccaneers, I don't think they're fraudulent. They are traveling to LA to take on the Chargers. 8.5, I got them too. So every single team is +8.5. I've got them all from 2.5 to 8.5. I'm taking all dogs. Bills are on the road. Bucks are on the road. Seahawks at home. That's where we're at, +160. So going to get some ROI in that one.
And Buccaneers is going to be tough, I think. I personally think that's a tough one. And I like the Packers. I always kind of have.
Have you? Okay.
Yeah, the Bills. I think you're safe.
Yeah.
With that,
yeah.
But
yeah.
I mean that's why it's +160.
Is your biggest worry the Seahawks or Bucks?
Probably.
Who would you take out?
I'm probably leaning Buccaneers due to the travel.
Okay.
And the injuries that they had two last week again. Irving's out, right?
Yep.
And then they had another one too. A guy go down. I can't remember. Oh, Winfield went down last week.
That's secondary, dude. They've been beat up a lot.
I know. So that's why I'm just like, this team can, as soon as they get him back, and they seem like they might be winning the division. Let's just go with that. They might win the division. Yeah. They lose two more. It's just like, damn it. When is Mayfield gonna get a little luck here? Right?
I know.
Shit, man. Like I like the Buccaneers. I was considering them for a money line play, but it's bold. I could see the Rams rolling a little bit here. I don't know, being at home. I don't travel.
Or Chargers.
Oh, I'm sorry, LA Chargers. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, there won't be much home field advantage. They never have home field advantage. The best thing the Bucs have going for them is the rush defense. We know that. The next best thing they have going for them is the Chargers. This is an interesting one for you. When they target Ladd McConkey, second highest success rate in the NFL passing wise.
Yeah.
When they target Ladd McConkey, anybody else, they're like the second lowest worst team in the NFL.
Who might be out this week? McConkey.
Yeah, he was out last week. He'll be questionable again. I think he'll fight back this week.
Okay.
But Todd Bowles is good at taking out one player, man. Todd Bowles is really good at taking out one player. So anyways, they're going to need to, because I think the Chargers have a good enough defense. Bucks are not going to be running up and down.
Yeah.
So we'll need to get a 2013 game to cover this or something. But anyways, I just wanted to give a high ROI bet out.
Yeah, and no starting tight end for the Chargers. Will Disley's out.
Disley's out too, huh? I didn't know
Disley's
that.
out too. Yeah, we got some injuries in this game a little bit. Obviously Winfield's out, right? And then Disley's out, so it's kind of a mess. I mean, I wouldn't say a mess. That's not really what I meant. But we got some guys kind of filling in. It's that time of year, right? You got guys going out, but we'll see. Okay, all right. That's all you got for us, and we'll catch y'all next time.